Hello, hello, all those beautiful faces. So beautiful. So beautiful. I want you to know that from the bottom of my heart and my soul. My heart and my soul, they ache right now, as I'm sure you do. Because at this point, I'm sure you're aware of what's going on in our country. Over the past couple weeks, there's been several racist acts and acts of police brutality that have sent shockwaves through our country. And to make it worse, it comes in the midst of a pandemic where we've experienced people around us, family members, becoming sick, dying. We've been stuck inside. People have lost their jobs. People are hungry. And then there was the whole lockdown versus no lockdown, mask versus no mask. And now this. It's crazy how everything went from we're all in this together to becoming politicized so quickly. So we have a lot to dissect here. But before we get into it, I just want to say unequivocally, Black lives matter. They matter to me as a white person, but more importantly as a human being, that my friends, my neighbors feel loved and respected and like they have every opportunity that has been afforded to me. That's why I became a teacher. That's why I started this page, Class Disruption. Because what we've been doing, it ain't working. And so I just want to make sure that I'm using the small platform that I do have to support those people and those organizations who are on the ground in the community doing the work to make sure that that is a reality for more people, especially in those under-resourced and over-policed neighborhoods. So I reached out to Collaborative Conscious, a resource hub started by Rosa Vasquez here in New York City, and she connected me with a bunch of New York City organizations that I'm asking you to donate your time and money to, because that's what's going to help create that future that we want to see by investing in our communities, by investing in those people around us so we can see that change. And if you're not from the New York City area, I encourage you, find organizations that are in your local neighborhood. Support them with your time and your money. Because as Rosa always reminds us, it takes a village.
I can feel when I look, I can feel when I look, I can feel.
I almost forgot. I promise, Rosa, I remind you guys, if you are in New York City, contact your local board member. Make sure your voice is being heard, and you can do that by using this website right here. Also, the link is in the description down below. If you don't live in New York City, make sure you are contacting the local person who represents you. Make sure your voice is being heard. And of course, if you enjoy my work, if you want to support my work, please hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and of course, hit that bell so you can get notified every time I drop a video. I have a lot to say, but words, they feel inadequate. The language has been so heavily politicized. So I'm just going to start by saying, I see you. I see your pain. I see your frustration. And I empathize with that very deeply. I'm frustrated. And I don't want to make this about me or my whiteness, but sometimes I do feel like nothing I can say is the right thing. And maybe that's how it's supposed to feel. Maybe that's how it feels to be Black. But of course, I'll never truly know, and I'm not trying to pretend that I'm gonna know. I do think if you know me, if you see how I move through the world, if you consistently follow me on social media, you understand that my intentions are authentic. So if I say something that doesn't sound right to you, leave a comment, DM me on social media, send me an email. Let's talk about this. These are difficult issues, and they're deeply embedded in our history as a country. But they don't have to be so divisive. And I really think that's the problem. It goes back to what I said earlier about our language becoming so heavily politicized. And then that's exacerbated by the media and by social media. because everybody's just looking for that hot take, that clip they can play over and over again, those likes, those retweets. And it's all to show that you're on this team, you're committed to this party. It's about rallying your core base rather than reaching across the aisle and saying, okay, we're saying different words, but what are we talking about that's the same? We've let our conversation become hijacked by people who don't care about me and you, and who certainly don't care about the black and brown faces who've been left out of the great wealth of this country despite their contributions. I'm talking about the political class, the media class, the elite class, our rulers, our ruling class. They don't care about us. They want us to fight, especially about race, especially about cultural issues, because that doesn't hurt their bottom line. Because when we're fighting amongst ourselves, we're not fighting them. It's a tool they use to maintain the status quo. Classic divide and conquer. And now that's not to say race is not a big issue that's deeply embedded in our society. I'll say it again. Black lives matter. It's absolutely devastating to see on camera an officer put his knee on a black man's neck and leave it there, despite his pleas, his cries of "I can't breathe" for 9 minutes. Several minutes passed when they couldn't find a pulse, passed when he stopped moving and making those pleas. And it's just as disgusting to hear the woman Amy Cooper in the park play on a classic racial trope of black man attacking white woman, please come help me. The exact type of thing that 99 years ago, yesterday, from when I'm recording this video, was the Tulsa Massacre, also known as the burning of Black Wall Street. And I encourage you to go check out that history. I posted some resources down below from tulsahistory.org, and also Erica Buddington put together a full thread on Twitter that captures the more complete history of white people using terror and violence against black people, and particularly black men, as a mechanism of control. So go check those out, because as my shirt says, don't make me repeat myself. And that's exactly what we're seeing. We're seeing echoes and hiccups from our history coming back, and we need to face them full on. And even if we weren't alive at that time, and it's been 30, 40, 50, 99, 400 years, we still live with that legacy. But I say that to say this. The media has hijacked the conversation to play murder porn of black lives being killed over and over again for profit. And so we can fight amongst ourselves on social media to forget that the biggest looting that ever happened was a few weeks ago, when the federal government gave unlimited amounts of money to the corporations. $5 trillion some odd dollars. And what did they give to us? I think this tweet right here summarizes it very well. I gotta be honest, the worst looting I ever seen take place happened a few weeks ago, when corporations collect over $500 billion, and that's even too little. It was more like 5 trillion in stimulus money, while everyone else was left with a $1,200 check and having to decide to pay for food or rent. And I don't know where $1,200 covers food and rent. It's definitely not around here in New York. So yes, race is a deeply embedded issue that we need to take care of, that we need to come to terms with. But ultimately, this is about state power and the system that it upholds. We need to come together. Why am I seeing police and protesters faced off in the streets as if they're on different sides? Everyone should be pissed off at that police officer, Chauvin. Regular citizens and police alike. I mean, he's putting a target on police. We should be marching and protest together. Citizens, police, black, white, Hispanic, Chinese, because we all have a common enemy and they don't want us to unite. And I applaud the police chiefs who've been able to achieve this type of solidarity. There has been some instances like this one in Michigan.
The only reason we're here is to make sure that you got a voice. That's it. There we go. Don't think for a second that he represents who these cops are from all over the county and around this nation. We want to be with y'all for real. So I took my helmet off and laid the batons down. I want to make this a parade, not a protest. You got little ones here, you got dogs, so what's up? So listen, I'm just telling you, these cops love you. That cop over there hugs people, so you tell us what you need to do.
Walk with us! 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 Walk with us!
Let's walk! Let's walk!
And I even saw some videos of police in New York City taking a knee and doing some moments of silence with the protesters. And that seemed to really decrease that tension. But in too many instances across New York City and across the country, it hasn't been that way. And I gasp when I see the violence, and then the media plays them for us over and over and over. And yeah, we need to see it. But at some point, the media is just doing it to further their own agenda and to enrage us and to divide us. These are tools of the political and elite classes, and we're being played for their agenda in this game of power politics. And so I'll leave you with this clip from Malcolm X. I mean, it's no wonder we don't learn more about him in school or in the history books. He talks that talk. But before I do, please go check out and support the organizations. All their information is in the description down below. These are the organizations that are in the community, on the ground, doing the work that we need to do every single day to uplift, to enrich, to empower the communities, to come together and to recognize our agency, to create that change we want to see. If you got value from this video, if you enjoy my content, please hit that like button. It really does help in the YouTube algorithm for it to get more recognition, for more people to hear this message. And of course, if you haven't already, subscribe, hit that bell so you get notified every time I drop a video. I got more content like this coming. And let me know in those comments, how are you feeling? What are organizations that other people can support so they can do the work in the ground? If you're not in New York City, we want to know, what are the organizations in your area? What are you doing? How can we help support you? And this is about coming together with all the different resources, all these different minds unified against a common enemy. And it's not a black or a white thing. Yes, we have issues with race and we need to handle them, but we're going to handle them by directing our energy towards the people who are keeping that system in place, who are using us to perpetuate their system of racism and supremacy. So I know it's tough times. I know, man, I don't even know. But I do know that we got to take care of ourselves and our mental health. And so you know what the motto is. Stay foolish, y'all, and enjoy this video from Malcolm X.
Game of power politics here in America. The Negro, namely the race problem, integration, civil rights issue, are all nothing but tools used by the whites who call themselves liberals against another group of whites who call themselves conservatives, either to get into power or to retain power. Among whites here in America, the political teams are no longer divided into Democrats and Republicans. The whites who are now struggling for control of the American political throne are divided into liberal and conservative camps. The white liberals from both parties cross party lines to work together toward the same goal, and white conservatives from both parties do likewise. The white liberal differs from the white conservative only in one way. The liberal is more deceitful, more hypocritical than the conservative. Both want power, but the white liberal is the one who has perfected the art of posing as the Negro's friend and benefactor. And by winning the friendship and support of the Negro, the white liberal is able to use the Negro as a pawn or a weapon in this political football game that is constantly raging between the white liberals and the white conservatives. The American Negro is nothing but a political football, and the white liberals control this ball through tricks or tokenism, false promises of integration and civil rights. In this game of deceiving and using the American Negro, the white liberals have complete cooperation of the Negro civil rights leader, who sell our people out for a few crumbs of token recognition, token gains. token progress